You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, Oklahoma firefighters come to the aid of a dog that had fallen through some ice.
Also, severe weather temperatures can provide plenty of danger, and in Arkansas, this can take the form of frozen water pipes.
And we still have some slick spots out there on local roadways because some of us got some wintry precipitation overnight. We'll take a look at road conditions and today's chilly forecast coming up.
4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Carrie Worthen. Police arrest 2 people who say they robbed a Pittsburgh convenience store. Authorities say just before 5 Friday morning, they got a call about a robbery at the Snack Attack. At the same time, they noticed 29-year-old Benjamin Lewis running down an alley in that area and get into a waiting car. Officers started chasing. Lewis then left the car and tried to hide under a house. Lewis was arrested along with the car's driver, 27-year-old Cheyenne McNaught. A Christmas Day crash leads to serious injuries for Purcell, Missouri woman. Troopers say a 2023 Buick Teresa driven by Lisa Bryant of Purcell traveled off the right side of the road and struck a tree. She was transported to Mercy Hospital in Joplin with serious injuries. Firefighters came to the aid of a dog owner trying to save their pup after it fell through a frozen lake. The Oklahoma City Fire Department said its crews were called to the scene where a dog owner was holding a rope attached to the dog that had fallen through the ice. Firefighters used a paddle boat to rescue the dog and bring it back to the shore. The dog had no apparent injuries, the department said. Frozen pipes can possibly lead to bigger issues at hand as well. Joplin authorities responded to a fire shortly after 8 a.m. in the Royal Heights neighborhood on Friday. Authorities say the residents were working to thaw frozen pipes under the sink and had only started a fire within the walls. The fire was under control shortly after 11. No one was hurt. For some four-staters, they may experience pipes freezing from the cold winter weather. Paul Keys, a local plumber in Pittsburgh, says when air temperatures are -20 with a 25-mile-an-hour wind, pipes are freezing. There are times when just one pipe is frozen and it can be thawed with a hairdryer. For larger issues, Keys and his team use a jet heater to thaw pipes under the houses. But it is important to keep safety in mind when doing it, as a heater can cause a fire.
Anytime you put a heat source under your house, you need to be careful. All of my people carry a fire extinguisher with them. If you are trying to do something to heat under your house, you should have a fire extinguisher ready and you should not leave it unattended.
Keys says that they can usually thaw a house in about an hour or 2. He also says about half of the time pipes will thaw out without a broken line. The wild winter cold is freezing and bursting pipes in Arkansas. Ian Russell reports.
The cold weather isn't just annoying, it's also causing issues for homeowners. Burst and frozen pipes are what many of us are seeing today, and the ones fixing them are staying busy.
In a quiet neighborhood in Maumelle, these guys are hard at work.
Today's the second call, and we've had a couple more added on us since we've been here.
And they're not alone. Plenty of people woke up to burst pipes, cold water, and other issues caused by the cold weather, including the Wadleys.
Well, my husband woke up and tried to use the hot water and notified me we did not have hot water. No, this has never happened before.
No hot water to start the day isn't ideal. That's where Richard and Nicholas come in. Inside to the attic, not much warmer than outside.
Cold line feeds into the hot, heats water, and it pushes out the other way. So with no flow in here, that tells us coming to the heater that the cold line here is froze.
Despite their best efforts, the Wadleys really tried. They couldn't stop this from happening.
We did, but not on the hot water. Because I had the tankless water heater, I didn't even think about the water heater.
Unfortunately, they're not alone. We called some other plumbers who told us they had hundreds of calls for service before noon. And while you wait for help from them, there's only a handful of things you can really do.
I've seen people try to, with heat guns and, trying to do it on their own, if they have that knowledge.
Pretty much on a situation like this, we're going to recommend to keep a heater up there.
That's the best thing to do right now, for sure.
Thankfully, we're supposed to thaw out soon and warm up over the weekend. And with warmer temps comes a better chance of those recommendations working.
Just keep the faucets dripping and your cabinets open.
In Maumelle, Ian Russell,
Well, unfortunately, frozen pipes are still possibly an issue as we head through today and tonight, as we are not going to do a lot of warming. In fact, our temperatures are going to fall through the day. MoDOT camera I-44 and range line, if you look, you can see there's about a little bit of a shine to the roadway. Some of the roadways are still wet. Some of them still have some wintry precipitation on them. And because some of us saw some stuff fall last night, it may take you a couple extra minutes to scrape off your car this morning, so be prepared for that. Now, I personally in Joplin saw some sleet on my windshield and a thin glaze of ice, so it didn't take a lot to get it off, but just be prepared. Wintry precipitation on the Skywatch Storm Tracker. Most of this not reaching the ground, but some of it is. But the good news is we're not anticipating anything major out of this. Here's the other thing. Today, the winds could gust about 20 miles an hour. As we head into tomorrow afternoon, we start looking at gusts from 35 to 45 miles an hour, and that's not even the top. As we head into Wednesday early morning, take a look at this. We could see wind gusts pushing 50, even 60 miles an hour across the area, and that's going to hold on through Wednesday and into Thursday morning and Thursday afternoon as well. And that is enough that it could bring down some small tree limbs and possibly cause power outages. So be prepared for that this week. We're 34 in Joplin. Once again, this is as warm as we get. We're doing a little warming this morning, then temperatures will fall later. Feels like 27 with the southwest breeze at 9 miles an hour. Across the region, we had 33 Iola, 30 Fort Scott, Nevada, 32 Miami, and 31 Neosho. And you factor in the wind, feels like 22 in Iola, 28 Miami, feels like 25 in Neosho. KDOT still reporting some wet pavement and even partially covered highways across parts of southeast Kansas. So if you're traveling, do be prepared to watch out for these slick spots out there. You got to slow down, give yourself time to get where you're going, because we're not really going to see a lot of melting today. On the Missouri side, similar situation, but really it's been kind of focused from MoDOT in Joplin and north of I-44 is where we're still seeing some partly covered roadways out there. So again, give yourself plenty of time. Today, our early high in the lower 30s, and then temperatures will drop throughout the day. We'll see partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies. As we head into tonight, clouds begin to increase. We drop back down to a low of 10 degrees. Then we warm up a little bit by sunrise up to 13. But don't worry, it's going to get better. Let's take a look at the 7-day for you. 39 on Tuesday, 52 on Wednesday, and then this is an interesting one. 51 for the low. We're actually going to hit that low pretty early on Wednesday because temperatures are going to rise through the evening. We'll make it up to 63 Thursday, maybe some showers and thunderstorms Thursday night into Friday morning, up to 58 on Friday. Showers possible New Year's Eve day, but these should be gone before it's time to celebrate, 53. And then by New Year's Day itself, look at that, 55 degrees under mostly cloudy skies.
Up next, if you're in your 50s, we got some good news. One new study suggests you may be finally catching up on that sleep you've been putting off.
And later, a school in Utah gets a Christmas miracle this year when someone pays off a lunch debt. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Good time.
In Health Watch this morning, the rising cost of fertilizer could put another 100 million people at risk of an undernourishment. A new international study finds fertilizer and energy prices will have the biggest impact on food security, and that the higher costs could drive up food prices by more than 80% next year compared to 2021. Artificial intelligence has arrived in the operating room. A study at Brigham and Women's Hospital developed a way to use AI to help diagnose diseases in tissue samples during surgery. Researchers say the method could potentially be used during cancer surgery to test tumors, margarine, and whether it is benign or malignant. And being in your 50s means you finally get more sleep. An international study tackled tracked sleep patterns over the human lifespan. It found the amount of sleep we could get declines during the 20s and early 30s. It plateaus from 33 to 53 and then starts to increase. Researchers say the demands of working in childcare may explain loss of sleep during midlife. A growing number of people are becoming sober curious, meaning they want to try sobriety. But in the season of holiday parties, family get-togethers, and events, it may be harder to say no to a cocktail. Mandy Gather has tips from a psychologist on how having a happy, healthy, and sober holiday season.
You don't need spirits to get into the holiday spirit, especially if you're already feeling blue this season.
We know that alcohol, as a central nervous system depressant, can actually make that worse.
If you need help staying alcohol-free over the holidays, focus on why it's important to you, says Dr. Trent Hall with Ohio State's Wexner Medical Center.
Sometimes it can be helpful to actually write that down in the form of a list and to carry that with you to holiday celebration.
If you're going to a party or get-together, Hall says to invite a sober friend to enjoy the night with you. Bring your own alcohol-free beverages to help keep you on track.
You might also find yourself watching other people around you who are drinking alcohol. And sometimes, unfortunately, their behavior can remind us of why we chose not to drink in the first place.
Hall says to think of the next morning, how good you'll feel avoiding a hangover, and celebrate your success working toward being healthier. Avoiding cocktail calories is another benefit of staying sober.
If you're sober curious, that having a merry, alcohol-free holiday leads right in to a happy, healthy new year.
If you tend to drink in stressful situations over the holidays, you may also think about limiting your time around difficult people and having an escape plan, a way to get away from the added stress if need be.
Well, we've still got some slick spots on the roadways out there. The MoDOT camera at I-44 and Rangeline. The roadway looks pretty clear, but you can see that reflection there. We still have some wet spots to contend with, which means that we still even have some wintry precipitation, especially on some of the back roads. We're going to take a complete look at your forecast. We're going to talk about a big warm-up and some big wind gusts that are coming our way when we come back. All right, as we've been talking about, still some slick spots on area roadways. MoDOT camera at I-44 and Rangeline. The road looks clear, but it's actually still wet. And that's what even I encountered on the way in, was just some wet pavement out there with some patchy slick spots in terms of some frozen precipitation, maybe even a little bit of ice out there. We did get some wintry precipitation for some of us overnight, so a few of you may have to spend a couple extra minutes scraping the car, so be aware of that. Skywatch Storm Tracker showing some snowfall, a wintry mix out there. Most of this not reaching the ground, and any of it that does, we're not looking at any kind of accumulation out of this. We could see winds gusting later today about 20 miles an hour, and as we head into tomorrow afternoon, take a look at this. Wind gusts start picking up 35 to even 45 miles an hour, and we already know that that can be problematic, and check this out. We're looking at wind gusts by early Wednesday morning pushing close to almost 60 miles an hour in some cases, and that is enough that it could potentially bring down small tree limbs and cause power outages across the area, and it's not going to let up. As you can see, we head into Wednesday afternoon, we still have 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts out there. We head into Thursday morning, still 50 to 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts out there, so it's not going to let go for a little while. In Joplin right now, we're 34, feels like 27 with a southwest breeze at 9. Temperatures will fall through the day, so this morning, whatever we hit is as warm as we're going to get before temperatures begin to fall. 33 Iola, 30 Fort Scott, Nevada, 32 Miami, and 31 in Neosho. And you factor in the wind, feels like 26 Fort Scott, 25 Nevada, 28 Miami, feels like 25 in Neosho, so it's still a bit chilly. KDOT still reporting some wet pavement to partially covered highways and roadways across parts of southeast Kansas, so if you're traveling, do be cautious, give yourself plenty of time. And we're seeing the same situation in our part of the state in Missouri, but this seems to be confined so far to the city of Joplin and north of I-44, where MoDOT is still reporting some partly covered roadways out there, so slow down. Give yourself plenty of stopping distance. Take your time to get where you're going. Highs today in the lower 30s this morning. Temperatures will fall throughout the afternoon, back down to 17 by 8 o'clock tonight under partly to mostly cloudy skies. And as we head into the overnight, we drop back down to a lovely temperature of 10 degrees. But hey, at least we're on the positive side of the thermometer this time. And we'll see increasing cloud cover. And then comes the changes in addition to the wind, where we're watching the possibility of some shower, maybe some thunderstorm chances as we head into late Thursday and into Friday morning. And then we'll watch additional shower chances as we head into Thursday. And then as we head into next week, we're looking at another storm system bringing us additional showers and thunderstorms. But as you can see, we warm up and we're going to stay that way for a while. So let's look at the 7-day. Up to 39 tomorrow, mostly cloudy, 52 by Wednesday. Showers and thunderstorms late possible Thursday into Friday morning. 63, 58, maybe a few showers. They should be out of here before the celebrations on New Year's Eve. 53, and by New Year's Day, we make it up to 55 degrees. So we go from well below normal to well above normal within about 72 hours. We got a lot more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
take this time to honor today's four-state hero, Richard Martinez. The native of Independence, Kansas, Martinez served in the U.S. Army in Iraq and Afghanistan from 2005 to 2012. To Richard Martinez, we thank you, today's four-state hero.
Well, the Eisenhower Junior High in Utah experienced something of a Christmas miracle recently.
And Dan Rascon tells us the school had a surprise benefactor put the school's lunch on their tab.
The sound of the lunch bell at Eisenhower Junior High School.
Try one more time.
The very last day before the holiday break.
You're good to go.
And what happens?
Woo!
A Christmas miracle.
Amazing, amazing! Happy, happy holidays!
It all has to do with the big check sixth grade teacher Amy Bergen Hill is holding, made out for $8,828.34. The exact amount to pay off the lunch debt the school has racked up since the first of the school year. 214 family lunch balances just went to zero.
And it is an honor to be witness to this miracle because it absolutely is a Christmas miracle.
The check was carried into the school by the owners of the Salt Lake law firm Siegfried and Jensen.
I just started making phone calls and just, seeing if we can just pay off debt. So I chose
who saw this story on KSL last month about a business paying off a school lunch balance and decided it was a great way to help out.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Go ahead.
They also got to know Amy through a Thanksgiving dinner she won as a teacher.
Thank you is not enough.
And were touched by the challenges the school faced.
We just felt like this was the right thing to do.
Just want them to have a Merry Christmas and have their parents be a little less stressed about paying school lunch bills.
It also means this balance will not follow the student for years to come.
So it just keeps going year to year until the balance is paid off.
The check is not for those who already qualify for free or reduced lunches.
You good to go?
A clear sign of the tough financial situation many families are in.
Children are then the ones who make the decision. Do I get lunch today and add to this debt, or do I go to class hungry? Nobody should ever have to make that choice, especially a kid.
That's absolutely incredible that they can help out
Yes.
like that because, as they mentioned, it's a lot of financial hardship right now, and some of these students and their parents can't always afford all these meals. So,
And it's going to help years to come until the balance is paid off. So,
yeah, that takes care of a lot of problems for some of these families. Well, we've got a lot more of the KOAM Morning News when we come back.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:30. Firefighters came to the aid of a dog owner trying to save their pup after it fell through a frozen lake. The Oklahoma City Fire Department said its crews were called to the scene where a dog owner was holding a rope attached to the dog that had fallen through the ice. Firefighters used a paddle boat to rescue the dog and bring it back to shore. The dog had no apparent injuries, the department said. Many area roads are clear now, but there are some that still could be dangerous. It's important to still keep an eye out for any patches of ice while driving. Officials with Joplin Public Works say they are continuing to treat roads to keep them safe.
Well, what happened was because we were looking at the weather, we didn't want to lay anything down because we thought it was supposed to be a wintry mix. So normally what we'll do is we'll lay brine down, and that way we have something between the surface and the snow to help melt that snow down.
You can find information about current road conditions on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. 5 generations of family members gathered for Christmas celebration in a Pierce City church. The large family with 22 grandchildren celebrated Christmas at the First Baptist Church in Pierce City. A few years back, family members realized the great-great-grandparents' house became too small and have been celebrating Christmas in the church ever since. Latest addition, the 5th generation to the family, was born last year on Christmas Eve. The great-grandmother Deborah Parmley says some family members live out of the state, so it's a blessing to have everyone together and bring their homemade foods.
Every Christmas and every Thanksgiving, we bring almost the same thing because we know everybody, okay, this is what you're bringing, just bring the same thing you did for Christmas or for Thanksgiving. So, yeah. And our mom, she has to make her potato salad because it's just like, it's the family thing.
We got family in South Carolina, Kansas City, Texas. Yep, they all make it.
Deborah Promley says that their family is known in the area as they take quite a lot of room to seat everyone in church. Local churches, KNEO 91.7 FM and the City of Neosho host their 20th annual Community Christmas Dinner on Sunday. The event was held in Neosho Municipal Auditorium, but meal delivery was available upon request. This year, over 500 people received a meal.
There's no doubt what sustains it is the people. You know, God working through the people and the people working together. The Neosho community, Newton County community, they're just giving people. They care about people. Neighbor helps neighbor, and this is just another way to help the neighbors. Some you never know, but you know, we do have a place for them to come, and especially this year, it's a little cold outside, so it's a good place to come in and get warm.
Meals were delivered to the Neosho Fire and Police Departments, local EMS, the Newton County Jail, and those that are homebound and those that receive Meals on Wheels. On Saturday in Monette, Missouri, people were able to receive a Christmas lunch at the First United Methodist Church. People from Monette and neighboring Pierce City were able to dine in or drive through at the church. The church also ran a gift program for the kids. Some of the organizations included the son of and grandson of the founder of the event.
He did eating Christmas dinner one day with our family, had a bunch of food left over, and he knew people that didn't have food, so we just started it the next year. I think we had 12 people that year. This is our 45th year, and I'm 45 years old. My grandpa started this when I was born, so this is the only Christmas I know.
It's important to help one another during the season of giving. Some volunteers from the community were able to do just that with the Salvation Army in Joplin. The group hosted a Christmas Day lunch for those in need.
I think it's important for everybody to give back, not only on Christmas, but we have to remember after Christmas too, because that's when the need arises even more. And after the first of the year, people are back to where they were, you know, where they were before. So it's important that we not only remember Christmas, but we remember the other days of the week.
The Joplin Salvation Army was able to give away nearly 300 meals to those in need this Christmas. On Saturday, the Joplin Empire Market hosted their Tinsel and Tidings Christmas Eve Market. The Christmas Eve Market gave last-minute shoppers the chance to get a gift from local vendors. The market was indoors so everyone could stay warm.
It is. I said, I think the camaraderie, and today we've seen lots of people out, more than we expected actually, with the cold weather that's set in, and we have so many people that have had to cancel plans for travel and flights. We just had a woman pass by a while ago that we didn't expect to see for a while, but her flight's been canceled. Fortunately, she's safe at home and can come into the market every week just like we see her. And so many different people, a lot of people have company coming in, so they're excited to come in and bring their relatives in from out of town and kind of show them what we have to offer.
This was the final Joplin Empire Market of the year. The market will be back in session on January 7th. The Webb City Farmers Market on Saturday gave local shoppers a chance to pick up some local goods before the holiday. Vendors had local produce, raw honey, baked goods, and gifts available for purchase. The market provided a hot breakfast with coffee or hot chocolate.
I think in the wintertime, making it significant for the holidays is you can get some last-minute Christmas gifts. You can get homemade items, cookies, breads, so I don't have to bake, and I get to spend a little more time with my family. I just like being able to come out during the holiday time.
Santa stopped by the market for one last chance for the kids. This morning we are discussing how we stay in touch.
Now, we did take you to a post office in Minneapolis to see all of the inner workings involved in delivering traditional mail, especially this time of year.
There's a lot of high-tech and low-tech moving parts to get mail and packages delivered to where they need to go. But in 2022, we have a lot of options for how we stay in contact with family and friends.
That brings us to our question for you this morning. How do you stay in touch? Is it mail, text, phone, email? All of those things, or maybe something else? Well, 46% of you say you do it by text message. 39% of you say you use all of those options. 5% of you say you do it through email. 5% of you say through the phone, and 5% of you say you do it through some other way. So we appreciate you voting and taking part in our discussion this morning. There's a lot of different ways to stay in touch. I mean, I had a friend, he was only 6 blocks away, but on occasion we would actually still write each other letters because we just liked getting something in the mail. You felt important when you got something in the mail that was addressed to you.
Until you're older, and then they're just bills.
Yeah, and then you don't feel so important. You don't want to check the mail. You do not want to get something in the mail as you get older.
Yes.
You do not want to check that mailbox.
No.
But when you're kids, you know, it's really neat. You see something that's got your name on it, you're like, all right, that's for me. Okay.
Yeah.
We still have some slick roads out there to contend with. The MoDOT camera at I-44 and Rangeline, you can't see it for sure, but the roadway's still a little bit on the wet side, still some partially covered roadways as well. We'll take a full look at all that a little later in the show. We'll be right back. Well, a major winter storm system turned deadly as it brought freezing temperatures and dangerous conditions to millions of Americans over the weekend. So far, the storm has been blamed for at least 38 deaths nationwide. Buffalo, New York was hit especially hard with at least 11 deaths confirmed. That number is expected to climb. CBS News' Jared Hill has the latest.
Even the snowplows in Buffalo, New York needed a rescue as the dig-out continues from a massive winter storm that the state's governor says has been nothing short of a battle.
We are in a war. This is a war with Mother Nature.
Hundreds of thousands of Americans experienced power outages at some point over the weekend, from Maine to Washington state, where there were also reports of possible vandalism at multiple substations in Graham.
If I had to talk to those people, I'd just say, come on, it's Christmas. Why are you going to do that to people?
The frigid temperatures also caused major disruptions across the South. Burst water pipes brought a wet Christmas for Georgia repair crews and led to a boil water advisory in parts of Mississippi.
We're getting ready to order DoorDash because we can't cook, we can't wash our dishes, can't do any of that to be able to even have a small feast.
In El Paso, Texas, public buses were provided to give migrants a warm alternative to sleeping on the streets.
They allowed us to get inside the bus and stay warm throughout the night, and a lot of people went inside the bus because it was too cold.
Travel nightmares also continued throughout the weekend at the nation's airports.
I got a text saying that I was rebooked. When I tried to change it, it said that I needed to call the maintenance line or whatever, and they actually didn't answer.
More than 9,000 flights were canceled or delayed in the U.S. on Christmas Day, according to FlightAware. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
A survey conducted by the online travel website The Vacationer shows that today and tomorrow are expected to be the busiest or worst days to fly after the holiday. The website says Wednesday or Thursday are the best days for air travelers to book their flights. Some of us got a little wintry precipitation last night. That's going to lead to the need to do a little scraping this morning. Might take you a couple of extra minutes to get that done. We're going to break down your full forecast and a warm-up that's on the way when the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 returns. All right, we still have some slick spots on some of the highways out there. MoDOT camera at I-44 and Rangeline. The highway looks clear because you don't see much wintry precipitation on there, but it is still wet, so you need to be cautious out there. Again, as we mentioned, some of you might have to do a little scraping this morning if you're heading out. We're looking at maybe 1 to 2 minutes extra to get that done. Honestly, me in Joplin this morning just saw some what looked like sleet and a thin glaze of ice. Skywatch Storm Tracker has been showing some wintry precipitation this morning, most of this not reaching the ground, and what does isn't expected to be a major concern. We could see winds gusting today around 20 miles an hour, but as we head into tomorrow afternoon, we're looking 35 to 45, and as the evening progresses, we could see wind gusts approaching 50, 60 miles an hour, and that will be persistent through Wednesday and Wednesday night and into Thursday morning. And so wind gusts that long, that strong, that is enough to bring down some of those smaller tree branches and potentially lead to power outages across the area. So just a heads up on that. 34 in Joplin, partly cloudy. It feels like 27 with a southwest breeze at 9. Our temperatures will fall through the day. We'll get to that in just a moment. 32 Iola, Fort Scott, 31 Nevada, 32 Miami, and 31 in Neosho. You factor in the wind, feels like 20 in Iola. And here's a little bit of a chill coming in. That's what we're talking about with our temperatures dropping. Feels like 32 Miami and 27 in Neosho. KDOT still reporting some wet pavement and partially covered highways across most of southeast Kansas. So if you're traveling this morning, do be aware of that. Do be cautious. On the Missouri side, it still seems to be confined for MoDOT. It's the city of Joplin and north of I-44 where we're still seeing most of the partly covered highways out there. So again, if you're traveling, slow down. Give yourself plenty of time to get where you're going. 30s for our highs this morning. We're going to be in the lower 30s, maybe even the mid 30s, and the temperatures will fall through the day. Maybe some gusty winds, partly to mostly cloudy skies skies, down to 17 by 8. And as we head into tonight, a whopping 10 degrees for our overnight low as clouds increase. But the good news is at least we're on the plus side of the thermometer. The other good news is we're going to see some melting and some pipes thawing. We're 39 tomorrow, 52 by Wednesday, 63 Thursday, maybe some evening storms carrying into Friday morning, 58. Showers possible New Year's Eve day, but they should be gone in time for celebrations, 53. And then by New Year's Day itself, 55 degrees, mostly cloudy. So we go from way below normal to way above normal within about 72 hours. Mother Nature not sure what to do with us here. That's a check of your forecast. Now here's Carrie Worthen with Consumer Watch.
President Biden is set to sign a nearly $2 trillion spending bill into law soon after Congress averted a potential partial government shutdown by passing a measure last Friday. The massive package includes more than $700 billion for discretionary spending like healthcare, education, and transportation programs. Also, there's $850 billion for defense and more than $40 billion in Ukraine aid. The IRS is delaying a controversial rule that would require gig workers and online sellers who receive payments of more than $600 via online payment platforms such as Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo to fill out a 1099-K tax form. The requirement is being pushed back 1 year after e-commerce platforms like eBay and Etsy said it creates confusion. Some lawmakers also expressed concern that the rule could ensure people transferring funds to family and friends. This filing season will go by the old threshold of anyone who exceeds $20,000 or 200 transactions in a year in electronic payments. Big construction projects are notorious for delays and running over budget. One company says it is a high-tech solution to get everything back on track. Ian Lee has the story.
Take a look around this nearly $200 million construction project.
We've got some of the ductwork coming up through one of the risers to the upper floors.
Project manager Bruce Preston juggles millions of pieces to help this hospital in England take shape.
So we've got 2,300 rooms and spaces that we need to keep track of what's going on in every one of those spaces.
Tracking progress is usually done by hand. But on this job, a 360-degree camera is capturing every inch of the site, using artificial intelligence to compare the images to the building's blueprints.
It'll tell you green whether it's all done, or orange whether it's work still to do.
Tech firm BuildDots says their AI system catches mistakes before they become a costly problem.
How many times does the industry lose money because it finds out way down the line that we missed something?
Construction is estimated to be a $10 trillion industry worldwide, with about $1.6 trillion wasted every year by productivity problems. Aviv Lebovici and his partners at BuildDots saw an opportunity.
This tool is about giving them the information to make the right decisions. How can you plan next week without knowing exactly where you are?
Building on time and on budget is good, especially when you're footing the bill.
Getting it right and having zero defects is really important to us.
And with a smarter pair of eyes on this job site, workers say their vision is already coming into focus. Ian Lee, CBS News, Bournemouth, England.
BuildDots say their AI technology is being used on construction projects across the U.S., including New York City, Denver, and Los Angeles. And if you're expecting to hit the stores this post-Christmas week, you won't be alone. A National Retail Federation survey found that 70% of consumers plan to shop, and the top reason given is to take advantage of after-holiday sales. This followed by those who want to use the gift cards they received under the tree. 18% of shoppers say they plan to return unwanted gift items. We'll be right back after this. A California second grader's dance moves has caught the attention of the internet.
During a recent Christmas concert, he couldn't contain his vibe. Now that vibe has spread to the masses.
Zach Fernandez reports.
This is 8-year-old Jaden Williams tearing up the stage at his elementary school's winter concert in Menlo Park, upstaging his classmates.
I just started dancing. I was feeling the vibe dancing.
Jaden may sound soft-spoken, but he is anything but shy, busting a move for our cameras the second we asked him. He even attempted to teach me some steps. Okay, so you didn't learn this in elementary school, right? No. The concert that's now made Jaden's dance moves viral happened just before school let out for winter break, and it was a show Jaden says he could not wait for.
I was so excited to do that. I just wanted to, I tell my Miss Harrington, my music teacher, when is the winter concert going to start? I was so happy.
That happiness spreading across the feeds of thousands on Instagram, something neither he or his family expected.
His classmate mother actually posted it on her Instagram, and it kind of took off, and she had tagged my wife to it. And it just started going viral from there.
Jaden seems to find happiness and excitement in just about any activity he does, from his artwork
Black Sonic, Gray Sonic,
to playing and watching sports.
Go Niners.
But Jaden's dad, Kirk Williams, says his son's dancing talent and presence have been there for nearly all of his 8 years.
He's been like that since he started walking, man. Everywhere we go, friends' houses, parties, weddings. And he's always he grabs the center of attention.
Despite his ability for entertaining and love for dancing, he has sights set on a different goal when he grows up. What do you want to do when you grow up?
Be a football player.
In the meantime, he plans to keep on dancing for anyone who will watch. Oh, and while he has the attention of the masses, he does have an important message for his favorite team who's playing Saturday.
Nick Bosa, Debo Samuel. We'll be at the game tomorrow, 49ers. I see you in there.
Very cool. He can dance better than I can,
Yes.
that's for sure. So.
Yes, he definitely, I can't dance like that. So.
You might be able to dance like that if you walk out onto some slick spots this morning, as we still have a few across the area. I think that's about the best dancing I can do is when I'm on ice. Take a look. Skywatch Storm Tracker showing a little wintry precipitation out there. Most of that not hitting the ground. Anything that does is not going to accumulate onto anything. Winds could gust later today about 20 miles an hour. Then we head into tomorrow afternoon, 30, 45 mile an hour wind gusts. They pick up pushing 50, even close to 60 miles an hour as we head into Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon, and even into Wednesday night and Thursday morning. Wind gusts near 60 miles an hour, and that's enough to potentially bring down tree limbs and cause power outages, so just be aware of that heading into the next couple of days. 34 in Joplin, partly cloudy, feels like 27 with a southwest breeze at 9. Cold start for us across the region this morning. 36 Chanute, 32 Miami, 31 in Neosho. You factor in the wind, feels like 28 Chanute, 32 Miami, and 27 in Neosho. And our temperatures are going to fall as the day goes on. KDOT still reporting some wet pavement, partially covered highways across southeast Kansas. So as we've been saying all morning, give yourself plenty of time. Same in Missouri, especially in the city of Joplin and north of I-44, still dealing with some partly covered roadways out there as well. Today, lower 30s for our high. That's happening now. Temperatures will fall through the day, back down to 17 by 8 o'clock. And as we head into tonight, we drop back down to 10 degrees with increasing cloud cover across the area. We'll have a look at your 7-day forecast and a little more of the KOAM Morning News when we come back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Here's what's happening today. The deadly winter storm that tore across much of the country made roads and highways treacherous, caused power outages in dozens of states, and stranded people in their own homes. Buffalo, New York is still digging out from the historic blizzard that hampered emergency services and the city's airport. The so-called bomb cyclone also made for a hectic holiday travel weekend marked by long flight delays and cancellations for many. In his Christmas Day message, Pope Francis made a plea for an immediate end to Russia's war in Ukraine. The Pope called the 10-month-old conflict senseless. He urged people to remember millions of Ukrainians without electricity or heating and refugees who fled the country after Russia's invaded last February. Kathy Whitworth, a legendary Hall of Fame pro women's golfer, has died at the age of 83. Over her career, Whitworth scored 88 victories. That's the most by any player, male or female, on a single professional tour.
We've still got cold temperatures to deal with. Highs in the lower 30s this morning. Temperatures begin to fall through the day. We'll be back down to 17 by 8 o'clock under partly to mostly cloudy skies. Clouds increase tonight, dropping back down to a low of 10. However, there's hope on the horizon. Relief on the way. 39 tomorrow, 52 Wednesday, 63 Thursday. Maybe some evening storms leading into Monday, or morning storms rather, for Friday, 58. Showers possible New Year's Eve day. Should be gone before the celebrations, 53. And by New Year's Day itself, 55 and mostly cloudy.
Christmas is meant to be a time of celebration, but it also can bring some issues, especially when you get some gifts you don't want.
Now, shopping experts have some tips to help. One, ask for receipts from the gift giver so you can make an exchange. You might also be able to arrange a mutual swap with someone else on an unwanted gift. If it's a gift that is rentable, like cameras, tools, or outdoor equipment, consider renting it out.
Finally, you may want to donate your gift to charities so that you can give the gift away to the needy.
Yeah, absolutely. I guarantee you there's going to be a few of you out there that got some gifts you didn't necessarily want. I mean, thankfully for me, I don't know about you, but the gifts I got were great gifts. I like each and every single one of them. In fact, I got a few new ties, so this week I'll be busting out some of the new ties I got. So
I just don't think it's worth the hassle to go in line to return stuff.
I'm there too. Even if I got something I didn't really want or need, I am not dealing with the lines and the returns and all the other stuff that goes with that. No.
Yeah, I'd rather just give it away to charity or regift it.
Exactly, exactly. Great options either way. Well, thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We're back with more news and weather today at noon.
Have a great morning and even better day.